Have you ever thought that there is a subgenre of anime, manga, and manhwa that you probably love but don't know what it is? Well, today I'm going to talk about one that's dear in my heart, kingdom building genre. What is kingdom building genre, you asked? Well, based on Anime Planet, characters in this story take on the responsibility of running a town or a kingdom, whether they take control of an existing one or build their own from ground up. Typically, this story focuses on the administrative duties that keeps civilization going, such as implementing new laws, constructing buildings, dealing with economic issues, engaging in international diplomacy, and acquiring the land needed for expansion through trade, negotiation, or open warfare. An example of this in anime is that time I got reincarnated as a slime and Overlord fits in this genre. So in this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 recommendations of kingdom building, 3 in manhwa, 3 in anime, and 3 in manga, and 1 very special hidden gem in the end of the video. I put a lot of hours in this video, so you better subscribe. Before I start, for anyone who doesn't know what manhwa and manhwa are, manhwa with the W is Korean comics, while manhwa with the U is Chinese comics. So let's start with manhwa or manhwa. If your first experience with the kingdom building subgenre is Overlord, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, or this video just interests you, then I'll recommend the bug player or solo glitch, depending on the translation. But I'll call it bug player because solo glitch has similarities with a very popular manhwa. So bug player, in my opinion, is the best gateway for kingdom building. Taepyeon Shin is the top player of his favorite MMO video game, Paradiso, and has a working knowledge of every inch of it. Unfortunately, this unexpected death brings an abrupt end to his gaming endeavors. Yet, because he was reincarnated as Jared, a foolish lord of a frozen region in Paradiso, he must now confront the world he once knew as a game and exploit all the bugs he is aware of, and assume the role of a feudal lord. This has all the regular but not boring elements of a kingdom building story: the basic warrior genius, the conflict between neighboring cities, and the corrupt politicians. My second manhwa recommendation is Return of the Manhwa sect, which is in ancient China where sword fighting and martial arts actually have godly effects. It's what the black belt karate master tells themselves every morning. Our main protagonist, Jiang Miang, after defeating the demonic cult leader, is reincarnated 100 years into the future, where his beloved sect and one of the greatest in his time is now at a state of decay. The masters have zero to no knowledge of their traditional martial arts, and the students are just mediocre at best. Their land has been stolen by their competitors, and their technique are being taught elsewhere. In this story, rather than a village or kingdom, Chong Myung is going to rebuild his sect. A sect is a relatively small religion organization that is not closely integrated in the large society and that often conflicts with at least some of the norms and values. So
Yeah, that sounds like a cult.
It's not a cult.
it's basically a cult. Yeah. This currently has 74 chapters while I'm making this video. Just watch how Chong Myung revealed his sect from the ground back to being the best. Oh, extra fact, Manhwa is a real-life mountain and it's one of the most important and sacred mountains in China. From ancient China, let's go to the medieval times because the next in my list is the Great State Developer. You know, normal story. A guy goes to another world with our modern knowledge in a medieval setting. The story revolves around civil engineer student Soho Kim. He falls asleep reading a fantasy novel and he wakes up as a character in the book. So he's now in the body of Lloyd Frontera, a lazy novel who loves to drink, and his family is in a mountain of death. Using his engineering knowledge, Soho designed invention to avert the terrible future that lies in wait for him. Watch him try to survive with the knowledge of the modern world, a few cheat items, and the occasional netherite plot armor. This sounds like a generic kind of isekai. Well, it is. There's nothing in it that stands out except the jokes and the character that feels refreshing from trash and nice guy tropes. The main character is not a villain or an anti-hero, is not the hero either. Instead, we got a guy who would help, but only if he got something in return, like an actual politician. Now that the manhwa and manhwa are finished, let's go to manga. The first in my list on manga is The King of the Cave Will Live a Paradise Life. Our main protagonist, Hale, Haley. Wait.
Start. Heal. Heal.
Our main protagonist, Hale, the 17th prince, is born with an unknown crest, which is just as mysterious and pointless as the anime award. In the world where crest grants abilities that determines one's fate, he is sent to a lifeless, abandoned island, or in other words, my list of subscribers. He grabs a pickaxe to expand the cave he takes refuge in. Alone and lonely, but determined to survive, he discovers the true strength of his crest. It turns out that this crest is the Cave King, where mining and construction are as simple as breathing. No longer useless, what Hale discovered on this island are supernatural discoveries and life-changing encounters rather than living a life in limbo waiting to be rescued. And slowly different kind of monsters gets cast away to his island and become his subjects. Currently, it only has 22 chapters, but I expect big things in this, and I love how the story progressed. Next, answers the question, what if the purest and sweetest kids exudes pure evil? This is the story of Minogra, the Apocalypse, world conquest by the civilization of ruins. Our protagonist, Ira Takoro, who died young from sickness, was reborn, similar to the strategy simulator game Eternal Nation, which he adored playing while still living. He was sold by Ato, a young woman from the terrible civilization he used to pretend to be called Minogra. The two of them resolved to establish a brand new nation in this universe. The world building, the character, the plot, everything is so enjoyable. This exudes the same feeling I felt when I first watched Slime Isekai and Overlord. At a time like this, we as humans forget how gaming changed people's lives. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Gaming is now and forever be part of our lives. It's a broad spectrum of sandbox, simulators, shooters, real-time strategy, and a lot more. But for me to say that what's next on my list is one of the best representation of what gaming is. Yeah, gacha game. With the cliche of, what if the game is not an actual game? This is the NPC in this village, same game must be real. One day, a mysterious package is sent to Yoshio, a 30-year-old NEET. It contains a game disc that has a gorgeous CG with almost real-world visual called the Village of Fate. The game's villagers are high-performing AIs that exhibits behavior strikingly similar to that of a human. Yoshio assumes the role of a god of destiny in the game and can direct the villagers. But in the game, his only choice is to deliver a message or prophecy once a day. The villagers will obey the order, and as a result of their gratitude, the god of fate will be able to use a miracle. Yoshio is revered as a god despite leading a reclusive lifestyle. He will rediscover the joy of life, owing his subjects, and the villagers will be saved as a result of him. It currently has about 26 chapters while I'm making this video, but I also have so much to say about this, and I would like to make a video about this separately one day. Now let's go to anime. Even though everyone will say, well, the manga's better. Shut up! I'm not gonna put Overlord or Slime on this list because that's just cheating. If you haven't watched this yet, what have you been doing living under that rock? It's Dr. Stone. For anyone who doesn't know, high school student Taiju Oki, who has been holding affections for Yuzuhira Ogawa for 5 years, is now prepared to confess his love for her. But just as Taiju starts to confess, a bright green light envelops the planet, terrifying everyone on it and turning them all into stone. A few millennia later, when Taiju awakens, he discovered that the modern period has vanished and that nature has regenerated during the time that people were silent. Taiju only comes across one other living person in the stone world of statues. His science-obsessed friend, Senku, who has been active for a few months. Taiju discovered that Senku has conceived a huge scheme to initiate the total restoration of civilization with science. Together, Taiju's strength and Senku's intelligence form a strong team that quickly discover a way to resuscitate the petrified. But when his ideals are contested by those who awakens, Senku's grand scheme is put into jeopardy. The cause of humanity's petrification is still a mystery. What's the most fun about Daughter Stone is the way they build things the right way and explain it step by step, awaken that feeling of, I'm gonna build shit out of nothing, like, feeling that I know you have, but to be honest, the manga's better. So I'm gonna take you back at the time of Harlem Shake, Selfie, and Dumb Ways to Die. TikTok doesn't exist, instead, his Big Daddy, Vine. The year of 2013. Wait, what? This is an actual good year of anime. But we're gonna talk about this shit. Log Horizon. This is the shit. Assuming you're just gonna watch the first season. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, after the most recent update of the well-known MMORPG Elder Tale, 30,000 astonished Japanese players find themselves instantly transported inside the game's universe without being able to log out. Shiroe, a social awkward college student, is one of them. His astonishment and dismay are brief because he is a seasoned player and goes outright to investigate the new boundaries of his reality. To bring stability to this virtual metropolis of Akihabara, Shiroe must learn to survive in this new environment while leading others to interact with the NPC natives. He is joined by Akatsuki, a small but ferocious assassin who claims Shironi is her master, and Natsuko, his unhappy friend who had logged in for the first time in years only to find himself stuck. Log Horizon is a story of fantasy, adventure, and politics. Examine the aspects of gaming through the perspective of a skilled tactician who tries to make the most out of a perplexing circumstance. Well, let's be honest here. Only the season 1 is exciting after watching this. After watching the first season, you can just watch the next. Oh shit. This is the most anime I've watched since
Anos Voldigo.
This guy's solution to being human is to be a fucking atomic bomb. You know what I'm talking about.
Atomic.
I'm talking about the eminence in the shadow. For those who doesn't know, shadow brokers are those who goes unnoticed, posing as unremarkable people, when in truth, they control everything from behind the scenes. Sid wants to be someone just like that more than anything, and something as insignificant as boring reality isn't going to get in his way. He trains in secret every single night, preparing for his eventual rise to power, only to be denied his destiny by a run-of-the-mill, yet deadly traffic accident. But when he wakes up in another world, and suddenly finds himself at the head of an actual secret organization that battles evils in the shadow, he'll finally get a chance to act out all of his delusional fantasies. It's not a masterpiece, but it still fucking slaps. Now for the hidden gem. I was dismissed from the hero party because they don't need my training skill, so I strengthened my thief, which I got as a replacement for my retirement money. Yeah, that's the actual title. It's almost done everything right in my book, except for one tiny thing. So this is how the story goes. I get James, a 27-year-old veteran adventurer, used to be the main character in the heroes group. He's an expert in training skill though, and because all of his teammates have improved in strength, he is no longer essential. He was forced to leave the party because he was unable to keep up with his friends. He did, however, receive a little fee as a retirement bonus because he had contributed significant to the parties up until that point. I've imagined that it had seen this free anime and decided to be like, I'm gonna fix this shit. I guess power is OP in a way that it's not. It's just how you use it, and how his personality is a big factor of why his power works. If anyone else has that power, it can be useless. And even the side story of the party that left him can even stand alone of how they function without Aiga. Because they don't actually want to lose Aiga. The quest they're getting is too dangerous for Aiga, so instead of dying, they just retired him. And Aiga knows this. That's why he decided to just lead the village. Not because of revenge, or because he got isekai into the job. He genuinely loves the people and the village, and he wants to make the village one of the greatest kingdom without losing the adventurer side of him. It's a fun read, and I love it. But the problem is, it just has, censorship problems and the slow posting of the author. So if you notice this manga or read it and make it more famous, maybe you'll get an anime or faster release of chapters. It took me so long to make this video. Please subscribe if you made it this far, and I forgot to say this, it's not a top 10, even the top 3. It's just that this is the 10 that I find most interesting. I've read so much manga, manhwa, and manhwa, and watched anime. It all add up to almost 50 just to make this video. And again, one last time, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, watch my other videos. Thanks for watching. God bless. Goodbye.